Welcome to the podcast. Today, we step into a turning point that reshaped an empire, transformed a civilization, and altered the course of Middle Eastern history forever. We're traveling back to the 7th century, to a time when Persia stood as one of the world's great superpowers, yet on the edge of collapse.
This is the story of the fall of the Sassanid Empire, a dynasty that ruled for over 4 centuries, a state of immense wealth, military tradition, monumental cities, and a culture that rivaled Rome and Byzantium.
Our lives pass from us like the wind.
But by the early 600s, cracks had begun to spread through its foundations.
And into that moment of fragility came a force no Persian ruler had fully anticipated: the rapidly expanding Arab armies, unified under the banner of Islam. Between 633 and 654 CE, a series of campaigns would dismantle one of antiquity's most powerful empires with astonishing speed.
No way, no sorrow. No way, no grief. No way, no sorrow.
This wasn't just a military defeat. It was a civilizational shift. The conquest would transform language, religion, politics, trade, and identity across Persia, and its echoes still shape the region today.
In this episode, we'll explore how an empire that once dominated the Near East unraveled so quickly. We'll look at internal struggles, war exhaustion, economic strain, political fragmentation, and the strategic brilliance of the Arab campaigns.
We'll walk through the key battles, the final stand of the Sassanid kings, and the human dimension of conquest. The people caught between two worlds, witnessing the birth of a new era.
Because history isn't just dates and wars. It's about transitions. It's about how societies adapt, or fail to, when everything changes at once.
So settle in as we enter the twilight of an empire, and the dawn of a new chapter in Persian history. This is the fall of the Sassanids, and the Arab conquest of Persia.
I turn to right and left in all the earth. I see no signs of justice, sense of worth. A man does evil deeds in all his days. Are filled with luck and universal praise. Another's good.
Imagine an empire so vast and powerful that it took just 20 years to completely collapse, from ruling most of the Middle East to total extinction. That's exactly what happened to the Sassanid Empire, and the story behind its fall is absolutely mind-blowing. The timing of their collapse is fascinating. Right when they were at their weakest point after that devastating Byzantine War and a civil war with 10 different people fighting for the throne. Talk about terrible luck.
A man does evil deeds in all his days.
And here's what makes it even more incredible. While all this chaos is happening in Persia, this entirely new force is emerging from Arabia. The death of Muhammad in 632 CE sets off this chain of events that would completely reshape the Middle East.
The political dynamics of that moment were so complex. You've got Abu Bakr becoming the first caliph, but not everyone supported that choice, right?
That's exactly it. And this dispute over leadership would have massive consequences later. But what's really fascinating is how Abu Bakr immediately faces this huge challenge: the Ridda Wars. You've got all these Arabian tribes basically saying, "Contract's over, we're out."
So how does Abu Bakr handle that situation? I mean, he's just stepped into this leadership role and suddenly faces a major crisis.
Well, he makes this brilliant political argument. He says these tribes didn't just make agreements with Muhammad personally. They joined the entire Muslim community. And get this, he manages to resolve the whole situation in just 1 year. Then, without missing a beat, he turns his attention to the wealthy Sassanid territories.
That's such an ambitious move, taking on one of the world's great empires right after dealing with internal rebellions.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Abu Bakr sends his best general, Khalid ibn al-Walid, with just 18,000 volunteers, Now, most military commanders would say that's suicide, but Khalid uses these incredible tactics, splitting his forces, using feigned retreats, striking before the enemy can unite.
The Battle of Nahavand in 641 CE really shows how effective these tactics were. The Muslims were outnumbered more than 3-1, but still managed to win decisively.
Exactly. And they used this brilliant three-pronged invasion strategy. They targeted Isfahan first because it was a crucial communication hub. By taking it, they could effectively cut off different parts of the empire from each other. It's like they were playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers.
Though it wasn't all smooth sailing, the southern province of Fars proved particularly difficult to conquer, didn't it?
Oh man, Fars was a huge challenge. The local governors fought like crazy to maintain their independence. And you've got cities like Bishapur and Estakir becoming these centers of rebellion. Even after they were conquered, Muslim rule there was shaky for years.
And all of this is happening while there's intense political drama within the Muslim community itself. Umar's assassination, the controversial election of Uthman.
Right. And here's what's fascinating about this period. It's not just about military conquest. You've got these layers of political intrigue, religious tension, and cultural transformation all happening at once. And at the center of it all, you've got Yazgurd III, the last Sassanid king, desperately trying to hold his empire together.
His story really is tragic. Constantly fleeing eastward, trying to gather support, only to end up being murdered by a miller near Merv.
But here's the really interesting part. Even though the Sassanid Empire fell, Persian culture and influence didn't disappear. In fact, you could argue that Persian civilization achieved a kind of victory in defeat. They became crucial to the administration of the caliphate, bringing centuries of imperial experience that the Arabs didn't have.
That's such an important point. The Persians might have lost their political independence, but they maintained their cultural identity and even developed their own distinct form of Islam.
And that's what makes this whole story so relevant today. We're still seeing the effects of these events from over 1,300 years ago. In modern politics, in religious divisions, in cultural identities across the Middle East.
So, in a way, the fall of the Sassanid Empire isn't really just about the end of one empire. It's about how societies transform and adapt.
Exactly. And it reminds us that political power and cultural influence don't always go hand in hand. Sometimes the conquered end up having just as much influence on history as the conquerors.
That's really the key lesson here, isn't it? The end of an empire doesn't mean the end of its influence.
Well, that brings us to the end of our journey through this fascinating period of history. It's amazing how studying these ancient transitions of power can help us understand similar processes happening in our own time.
And perhaps most importantly, it reminds us that history is never simple. It's always this complex web of political, cultural, and social forces interacting in unexpected ways.
Our lives pass from us like the wind.
Thank you for listening.
We trust this podcast has been beneficial for you.
Carmen Hub Radio.
Our lives pass from us like the wind, and why should wise men grieve to know that they must die? The Judas blossom fades, the lovely face of light is dimmed, and darkness takes its place.
Welcome to Carmen Hub Radio, where music meets conversation.
Should wise men grieve to know that they must die? No way, no grief. No way, no sorrow. No way, no grief. No way, no sorrow.
Carmen Carmen Hub Radio is your new favorite destination for an unforgettable blend of soul-stirring music, unfiltered talk, and vibrant energy, any time of day or night. From chart-topping hits to underground gems, and from heart-to-heart chats to bold, thought-provoking discussions, we keep it real, we keep it live, and we keep it going. Tune in for electrifying music from every genre and corner of the world, lively interviews, deep dives, and community-driven conversations, late-night vibes, morning grooves, and everything in between. Whether you're working, relaxing, driving, or dancing in your kitchen, Carmen Hub Radio is always here for you. Turn up the volume, feel the connection, stay with the hub. Carmen Hub Radio, all day, all night, always on.